Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you're watching from. Uh, Greetings to Hong Kong, by the way. I just saw, David, that you were there. So it's more good morning than good evening. And welcome to another Sunday live stream. Let's have a quick look who's already on. So, hi, Conservator. Thank you for helping a bit with the moderating today. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I just saw all shorts joining. Hi there. Hi, Dano. Hi, David. Yeah, David to Hong Kong. Hi, Dermot. Hi, Joe. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Christian. Hi, Son of Viking. Hi, AD to YVYT. That's a more complicated one. That's one reason why I changed my channel name. So it's easier to read and to write to someone here. Today I prepared a little bit. Oh, hi, Leonard. Good to see you. And hi, Valerio. Received your question, but I made a video on that one, but I come to that later on again. Today I prepared, first of all, something else, because I've talked about a lot of these Brexiteer propaganda campaigns recently, and the campaign is really running hot at the moment. And for this, I had a quick look at the most favorite Brexiteer newspaper, if you might call it, the Express. And it's even worse than the German Bild-Zeitung. And I always thought the German Bild-Zeitung is really bad, but the Express is, well, some levels higher than that. It's really interesting to have a look. And if you have a look sometimes on newspapers like that, you're going to find out where some of the comments are coming from, because some of the comments Brexiteers post under my videos are one by one just copy and paste from the Express. And it's no wonder that people still fall for this, because if you would read stuff like this all the time, with the choice of people they're interviewing, with the choice of topics, and the number of topics. When I look in a German newspaper, I may find one Brexit-related article. If I have a look on the Brexit topics from all newspapers one day for the last 24 hours, several newspapers here pop up once, mostly with the same topic, but the Express pops up with 5, 6, 7 different articles on Brexit. And I'm quite sure Jeff Taylor is a good friend of them too. By the way, Jeff Taylor, there you have another reason why I blocked links on my comment section. The main reason was a lot of Russian bots with fraud links. That was the start when I blocked all links to the comment section of my channel. But now Brexiteers try to spam Jeff Taylor videos in the comments. So it's a good side effect that they can't do that, because once a day they come and try to spread it under 10, 20 videos. Now, but let's get back to the Express. I got some examples here for you, which I think I really should talk about for once. I haven't done that yet, and it explains really a lot. I picked 4 articles from them, and the wording is really enlightening what all the hate is brings up at the moment. Brexiteers give what you can read in the comment section of my videos, but you get all the time at the moment against the EU. They're always talking of a war on AstraZeneca in this first one, a huge scandal of the EU. They continue to retaliate against the UK over Brexit. Nothing they're doing now is punishment and retaliation. I don't have to tell most of you that. But that's what they are driving now. It's not the natural effect of being a third country. That those rules, which are not new, I have to say this in many videos, those rules are not new rules. The rules are new to the UK now, because the UK is a new third country to the EU. But the rules are old. the UK was part of making these rules for third countries. And now they sell it, with all the downsides of it, sell it as EU punishment for Brexit. And the reason why so many people spread this nonsense as well are newspapers like this. And I was talking about the choice of people they quote. And we have the same, I experienced the same a lot with Brexiteers talking about German MEPs. In this case, they chose Matteo Salvini, Claudio Borghi from Matteo Salvini's League Party. Of course, they are against Brexit. They are against the EU, but they are not the majority in Italy. They are not even present the majority opinion in Italy. They are just showing one small side of it, and of course they talk about a trade war against Britain as well. I haven't marked anything there yet, but I kept the best for last. Then Guy Verhofstadt, who is a real hate figure for all Brexiteers, has become chair of just one conference, which is really not the most important post in the EU. But the Express sells it that Guy Verhofstadt gets a new top EU job, and that is the proof that Brexit was the right choice, because Guy Verhofstadt gets a job. The logic is really great. And for this article they chose Ray Bassett. My Irish viewers will definitely know Ray Bassett. He's from a more, let's say, right-focused think tank, and he's pro-Irexit. Irexit is so far from reality, because Ireland really flourished being a member in the EU. Nothing against Ireland, but they really had a lot of benefits from being in the EU. They were a net beneficial. Now they're not beneficial. What's the correct word for that one? The problem is that I have a delay here in the video, and if you answer, I get it a little bit later. But they now are a net contributor, and they are paying into the budget now and get less back than before. And that shows that Ireland is, in the meantime, really successful. And being part of the EU, benefactor, thank you very much. And being part of the EU was good for Ireland. And this guy, so with this Irexit campaign, is so losing it. Okay, give me a second. Is the mic out of sync again? Because All Shorts is saying this. I can't hear it myself at the moment. That's the problem when I'm on this connection. I can't hear it myself at the moment. That's okay. I had this before. It doesn't happen all the time, so just give me 1 second. Last time everything was fine. This time it's not. Okay, then we're gonna have a look if it starts working now. That's really something. Okay, then we're gonna have a look if it starts working now. I think it's a bit better now. Sometimes it's out of sync. It was conservative. It was out of sync on my cockpit here as well. So sometimes OBS is a mess, but it's still the best I can use, because I have to link my iPhone as a camera with the thing, and that's the one where it works usually. But I'd stay with it. I was with Ray Bassett, and he calls Verhofstadt an arch-federalist, someone campaigning for EU federation. Is first of all not a bad thing. You must not agree with him, But first is one of the views in the EU. When it becomes a majority view, we will see. And the wording in itself is wasted few opportunities to lecture Britain. This appointment is a reassurance to the British public that they made a wise choice, because one man is heading one conference. They are really getting desperate with finding anything that reconciles the decision of leaving the EU. And the same thing is with an older one, where they talk about the benefits of doing their own legislation now. And the only example they could find for the whole article to say why it's better to have their own legislation now and not to be reliant on EU standards anymore is vaping. That was the only example they could find for vaping, because the EU says vaping, and the studies show it's not tobacco and it's not the nicotine, it's the other ingredients in vaping that doesn't make that any better than cigarettes. I, for myself, I tried to get rid of my cigarettes by vaping. It just ended in that I was coughing the whole time. So I immediately stopped that again after a few days, because it didn't help me anything. And they say it's brilliant for an excellent aid to helping people quit smoking. And that's the only thing they found why they need their own legislation. I'm quite sure it's the same for all of you, that nobody could tell us any benefit of Brexit so far. And they even count that in their campaigning articles. But I kept the best for last. I mean, you will all know the name Andrew Bridgen. And he was talking in an article now about a full-blooded trade war, and he told Boris to get tough with the EU. And there's the thing why I got really annoyed recently and lost my temper a bit in a video today, which I filmed yesterday, of course. But about the difference between the withdrawal agreement, including the Northern Ireland Protocol, and the TCA, the Trade and Comprehensive Agreement, that is not ratified yet. One of them, and one of the reasons, because I think there is a lot of copy and paste involved, is Andrew Bridgen, because he doesn't know the difference between the withdrawal agreement and the TCA. Because what several Brexiteers wrote the last days in the comments must have been copy and paste from this article from Bridgen's, because it's amazing that the EU are complaining about us putting us in court over a treaty that they haven't actually ratified. The EU put the UK not in court yet. They just started the infringement proceedings, but they will, if necessary, put them in court for a treaty that has been ratified in 2019 and the beginning of 2020. That thing is more than a year old. And he's from the ERG, the European Research Group. You think they should do some research on Europe and know something. But he doesn't know the difference between the withdrawal agreement and the TCA, because he's spreading this nonsense. And now I know where all this hardcore follower cult Brexiteers are getting that from. He was spreading the nonsense about the EU is suing on a deal that's not ratified. The withdrawal agreement was ratified more than a year ago. It is active for more than a year ago. It is international law for more than a year. Both sides signed it. Both sides ratified it. And that man is an MP. He voted for that thing. Or not. He's in the ERG, maybe not. But I'm not very sure now, because I don't have the results from more than a year ago now. That is just a joke. And of course he's talking about a trade war, and we are at a trade war until they just ratified that deal. Even if he meant the TCA, but that has nothing to do with the suing on the Northern Ireland Protocol. There is no trade war until it's ratified. It's provisionally enforced. So nothing changes with ratification about that it is active right now. Oh, Ministerian, thank you for that super chat. ERG is such an oxymoron. Keep the good work, Mark. Thank you very much. And just, no offense, Ministerian, this is just one thing for every one that's used to speak English or got used because of the Deutsch mark. My name really is spelled with a C. That's a more unusual version of it. Because everyone was used to the Deutsch mark or the British always write mark with a K. My name is really spelled with a C. So no offense, Ministerian, I just took the chance to say this one more time because many people in the comments on my channel call me Mark with a K. So I had a chance now to say that again. Yeah, the ERG is such an oxymoron because they call themselves European Research Group, but they definitely never did any research on the EU or Europe or whatever. But they're always talking about the war. Yeah, and all this stuff that Brexiteers are spreading, or these cult Brexiteers I always mean. The EU is trying to erect a barrier and so in the Irish Sea and so on and so on and so on. All blame on the EU. These people really are just trying to justify what they try to do. And don't forget, with all we know now about the funding of the Leave campaign and everything, the richer people around those MPs and around the government is definitely making some money out of the whole kerfuffle we have at the moment. I like the word, by the way, from Little Britain. You can earn a lot of money with a pound that was going down, and with speculations on the stocks of some companies that are going down now, or the few that benefit from it. And we know of a lot of them. Jacob Rees-Mogg is just one example. They have a lot of assets in the EU, or others building their car factories now in the EU after they campaigned hard for Brexit. Or not only build their factory then in the EU, but also move to Monaco to benefit from still being in the EU. But that's the point. There's a real campaign going on, and a lot of people blindly just follow those scripts. They get pumped full with this nonsense, and they just believe it because too many people don't check what they read. And the problem is not only there. I know this from the people here as well. Too many just believe what they are told, and that's it. And it's the same. You still find Brexiteer comments on my channel. So some of them telling me I block everything from Brexiteers and just leave the EU friendly people there. No, I just delete the insulting ones. Or the ones that are spreading this campaign stuff over and over again. Those are deleted as well. Yeah, it's true. Otherwise, I leave those discussions. Some of you, I've seen some today in the comments again, like those discussions, and you shall have it. But it's really, it will go on for a long time that they can sell this. Definitely during the whole pandemic, because until then they are trying to put every damage now on the pandemic, as I predicted last year. By the way, if you're watching my videos longer, I said that last year already, that they will blame a lot of the damages we see now after leaving the internal market and the customs union. They do blame on the pandemic. So I was right last year. So much about the Brexiteers telling I've always been wrong. And we will have to live with it until the pandemic is over. And it's over for such a long time that you can't blame everything on the pandemic anymore. But we're going to need a lot of patience. And I'll definitely will make a lot of videos in the meantime, because there's a lot going on, and there will be a lot going on. So we are now in for a bit, and let's have a look for some more who are taking part in the discussion. Hi Esma, hi Ari, hi Cash Dummy, hi Eric, hi Jeppy, hi Hank, hi Ian, hi Igor, hi Joe, hi Joch, hi Crumble, hi Principe, Machiavello, hi Ministerian, thank you again for the super chat, and hi Tom. So some more taking part in the discussion now. Another thing, 1 second. It's a thing when you're talking all day. You always have to drink. And with the longer videos, I have to make breaks between filming them. I'm writing scripts first, then I prepare all the rest around it, and then I film them. But I have to take breaks because someday your voice just goes away. And all shorts, there will be no shortage of material in the near future. But I want something that not directly has to do with Brexit, but I made a video on this this week because Brexiteers were always talking about Irexit, Italexit, Dexit, and Nexit. And I made a video about the Dutch elections. And I just want to give you a little update because I only could do it on the evening of the election day. And then the results now are a little bit better. Mark Rutte and his VVD, that he's the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, he won the election. And the decisive part from this election in regard to Europe and the Nexit and stuff like this was the right-wing party from Geert Wilders. Where have I put him now? The PVV is from Geert Wilders, and they only got 10.9%. And he's only on third place now. After the last election, he was on second place, and now he's on third place. And the D66, you can compare them a bit to the Liberal Democrats in the UK or the Free Democratic Party, which are the Liberals in Germany. They are in second place now with 14.8%, and that they are very Euro-friendly. Mark Rutte is Euro-friendly because he knows the benefits of it. That much he's Euro-friendly, but he was one of the frugal four, but that's a thing we can discuss about. And the left-wing parties lost, and a few smaller right-wing parties gained, but they still have only a minority in parliament. They've got, correct me, Conservative, if I'm wrong, I guess it was 27 seats out of 150 for right-wing parties. That's like the same size around what we, or a little bit less even, what we have in Germany with the AfD. So that's not much, and that shows, especially from the European connections of these parties, that leaving the EU and none of the other member states is something of their thinking. No of the other countries is now thinking about leaving the EU. The Czech Republic was always behind Britain on the highest level of leaving, and there's an Austrian scientist who made up a Brexit index or an exit index for the EU. And since Brexit and since we saw all the consequences, it's some time ago since I made a video on that one, but you can have a look if you still find it on the exit index. Even the Czech Republic, there the wish for leaving the EU completely dropped. And they were the highest behind the Brits and still not very high. And so there is no country in the EU at the moment that wants to leave. And so, that's a Brexiteer's wet dream, but it will not happen. And thanks to Brexit, it will not happen. Because, and there is no punishment, as they always claim. And I just forgot when I talked about all the politicians picked by picked by the newspapers, when they're talking about a German MEP said this in favor of the UK and Brexit and blah, 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 it is always an AfD MEP. Of course, an AfD MEP, which are right-wing extremists in Germany. They are on the side of the ERG Tories, but nobody else from the German MEPs is, neither left or center-right or whatever. And of course, they're always quoting that. So with picking their quotes, they make politics. But there is proof with facts about Britain and Brexit. And that's what I'm trying to show. Of course, I'm not unbiased. Nobody is unbiased. I said that before. Everybody has a certain opinion and is a bit biased in his own way. Whoever claims to be unbiased is a liar. Everybody is biased. Everybody has his own values. Everybody has his own views. And nobody can be 100% objective. But you can work with simple facts that cannot be discussed. And one is an article from Reuters. Uwe, you're not online here at the moment, but maybe you see this live stream later. I've seen the article before you send it to me, but thank you for doing this. And if you have something interesting, please send me the link in the comments. It will not show in the comments, but usually I will see it if you want to show me something. So you can just leave it there. And there's an article from Reuters about another of those Brexit benefits and about the services in the City of London, because now the carbon future trading leaves London for the EU. And that's the latest Brexit market move. We heard a lot about shifted assets from the UK to the EU. We have heard about a lot of EU stock trade going from London to Amsterdam. I made a video a few days ago about Frankfurt now being in the top 10 financial places in Europe again, on the world again, because jobs and assets and so on shifted there because of Brexit. And this will continue. The clearing is still in London because we have a transitional phase there, but we all know, because I talked about this several times already, and you are informed anyway, I know that, is in a transitional period until 2023. So from January 1st, 18 months, it will stay in London. But nobody really can believe that it will stay there after the transitional period. And now the carbon futures trading is gone. And of course, it was a necessary move. The carbon futures trading for the EU, so the EU certificates, so to speak, cannot be traded outside the EU. That makes no sense. And the exact date will be named soon, but over 6 billion euros a day of euro-denominated share trading has already left London for Amsterdam and Paris. And that includes some derivatives and stuff like this. Although the clearing is still certified in London. They are still allowed to do this. And the only thing that stayed there at the moment is the EU carbon clearing business. And that just remained there because there still is this transitional period. But this will end in 2023. I think that the banks in the EU will be able to prepare enough for taking over that business, or most of that business, in 2023. And most of that will leave the city then. But those are the benefits from Brexit we see all day. In another video I filmed today, I'm asking once again for people to write in the comments the benefits of Brexit for the UK. Well, I know too, vaping and less traffic. Yeah, great. But where are the real benefits? The all benefits I can see are benefits for the EU, but they are not real benefits because the damage done to both sides is much bigger than that. certain companies, certain places do benefit from it, but the overall, it's damaging for both sides. And if that was the intention of the ERG, to damage everyone, congratulations, mission accomplished. But that can't be anyone thinking that this is a good thing for anyone. Yeah. And thank you, Katrina. Bendy bananas. That's always coming up. That is another Brexiteer myth and anti-EU myth that's around for, I don't know, 20, 30 years? Yeah, that didn't happen. The only thing that really happened was the thing with the light bulbs, which is sometimes a bit annoying. I saw a show from Alan Carr where he said he got an energy-saving bulb now in his flat, and now he's using the red dot on his TV as a reading lamp because that's brighter than the energy-saving lamp. But the energy-saving lamps now are much better because what I'm using here is LED, so it's not as bad anymore as they were in the beginning. But let's come to some of your questions. I have Jean1319. Hi Mark, in the UK, polls show a majority of Britons think Brexit is a bad thing. Also, according to the polls, Boris Johnson is not very popular and is not considered trustworthy. And then the question, how do you explain that despite everything, the Conservative Party is leading by 7 points in the latest polls? First of all, the polls, of course, differ. There are still somewhere where Labour and the Conservatives are head-to-head. Others say the Tories are ahead. But to be honest, that mostly, from my point of view, has to do with quite a bad performance by Labour. I try to keep informed about what Labour is doing, but I don't see them really offering something to the people as an alternative for the Tories. When there were things happening that were really in the public eye, like the ratification of the TCA, Labour didn't really play a very good figure there. They are not really shining as the opposition. There might be some trouble with PR or whatever, but I didn't really get something very substantial from Labour as an alternative to the Tories. And of course, the people who are against Brexit have nobody really on that level. Well, the Lib Dems or the Greens are not on that level all over the UK, to rally all those people that are against Brexit, and they, for example, want to rejoin. Rejoin is not a very big movement at the moment. Would be far too early. To be honest, I don't really want them back at the moment. Not with the current state of affairs. I even wouldn't want the UK back in the EU at the moment. But they don't really have someone to rally around. And so, yeah, if you don't have alternatives, you vote for what's there. The proof how well they do will, in fact, be May with the elections in Scotland. There, on the one hand, of course, we will see how much the SNP was damaged with all the Salmond affair now. But we will see how well the Tories do in that election. And if the SNP, as polls still say, although the scandalous thing, and now even the report of the committee saying Sturgeon probably didn't tell the truth, the people are still on the side of the SNP, but only on election day we will see what that really means. And that will give us a little bit of a picture in Scotland, of course, not for the whole of the UK, but in Scotland, how well the Tories are still doing. And until then, there is no UK-wide alternative for the Tories at the moment. That's my opinion. And that's the problem. So, and Son of Viking sent me quite a longer one again. And he mentioned the Express as well. Should a German withdrawal from the EU, which the Daily Express and Little England has now assured its readers will follow Merkel's impending demise, have a nickname inspired by its own name for itself, the British name since they own the copyright, or maybe honor some perennial outers like Norway by using their version of Germany's name, or perhaps even borrow from the French language, which would certainly suit the jolly German sense of humor, no end. In other words, should it be Dexit, Gexit, Texit, or Exit? Or should it just stick to a snazzy German nickname like Bewegung für deutscher Rückzug aus der europäischen Völkergemeinschaft? It would be Bewegung für deutschen Rückzug aus der europäischen Völkergemeinschaft. Yeah, we are good in putting words together, putting long words together. First of all, about the copyright thingy, the thing with Dexit and stuff like this in Brexit, it was around for a very long time before they were even talking about a referendum. So the copyright wouldn't survive the courts here. I'm quite sure about that one. And when we're talking about this, it's Dexit. But the only ones talking about this were from the AfD, so the right-wing extremists here, this so-called alternative for Germany. No, they are no alternative for anything. It would be Dexit, but to be honest, no one of a sound mind here is thinking about this. Even the AfD wrote back a lot before the last European elections with Dexit, because they only put reforms in their European election manifesto, because they knew with Dexit they would make people not vote for them, and so they can't afford doing that. And Le Pen was rowing back as well. The right-wingers in Italy are rowing back. Everywhere in Europe they're rowing back, because they see that Brexit showed everyone what an exit from the EU means, how silly it is to throw away the benefits. And especially Germany, of course, you must be completely out of mind as a German politician to want to leave the EU. Germany is paying a lot in the EU, of course, but it's gaining much more. The people always see the budget and how much a country is paying in as a net contributor, for example. That is not the important point. The important point is, how much does it help my economy? How much do we benefit from all the benefits of membership? And Germany is benefiting a lot. When I had my video about the Netherlands and the election, a lot of people from the Netherlands wrote that the Netherlands had a lot of benefits from the EU. I guess, if I'm right, Germany is the biggest trading partner of the Netherlands. With borders, it would be far more expensive to export to Germany. They're exporting, 40% of their exports go to Germany. We would have borders, customs, and all the crap we have now with other third country, UK. They benefit from membership. They don't throw that away. And the poorer countries benefit as well, because there is money from the EU for certain projects, for their agriculture, and so on and so on. They are building their country on that basis. Other countries, as I said, Ireland was one example, they benefited from that and are really successful today. Of course, you can say they would have been successful as well without it, but perhaps later, perhaps not as strong, but no matter. They benefited. And countries that benefit from this, why should they leave? And the problem with the UK and Brexit is that some people, except those that always bring up the war and that nonsense now, that they saved our asses here and stuff like this in the Second World War, I don't care about what... for today's politics, I don't care about what happened 100 years ago or 70 years ago. I have to see today's picture. And what happened 70 years ago is not any validation for something you do today. The only thing is that we have a certain relationship and a certain responsibility still as a nation towards Israel and so on, but it doesn't validate anything of your current actions. And there's a bit of a, what you call this, when you put on the pink glasses. To be honest, the Americans saved everyone's asses, the British including. And so leave that topic away from Brexit. It had nothing to do with it. You even have you should have a shorter memory and look back at the end of the 60s, the beginning of the 70s. The reason the UK joined the EU, because they were the poor men of Europe, the sick men of Europe, the dirty men of Europe, whatever they got called that time. And they benefited from being in the European Union until now. And now the benefits are gone. So Germany will definitely not leave the EU. Sorry, oh God. And dude, once again, you managed that I don't have a clue what I should do with your questions again. Because you are insulting Boris Johnson a lot in your comments. You think you'd be screwed in the UK. How should I know in how much danger you are when you go to the UK now? I have no clue. Of course, they won't recognize you, but no. They sell it as freedom of speech at them all the time, then should do it. But the other question was why my logo is now beer colored. It's not beer colored. I just picked gold because I saw that I needed a brighter color. The last ones were too dark, and I wanted to change everything, and I want to put my branding on some level where I could link more of the channels together, so it's easier to recognize that they belong together. Because sometimes I have stuff on my European channel that is interesting for the others as well, and on my global channel that is interested for some people who are usually only interested in Brexit. And that's why I try to link them, and I like the colors. Because I saw the combination when I put some designs together for my merch for the new name, and then I saw the color combination. I really like that. So it's not beer colored, although I'm missing my beer fests here, but that was not the intention. Valerio, I hope you're still there, because you sent me a question I wanted to comment on. What do you think about the new bill that gives to police new means to stop protests in UK? Honestly, I start to be a little concerned about this topic now. As I said, I made a video on my, I think it was on my Europe channel, about this and about the legislation process about that. Now, demonstrating is one of the really fundamental rights. I can give you an example. We had Fridays for Future demonstration here 2 days ago in my hometown with 2,000 people. It was not very reasonable to do this. They definitely didn't comply to all rules we have at the moment regarding hygiene and stuff. But the demonstration was not forbidden beforehand. Of course, they applied for that. And that's the point, what you have to do. You have to stick to the rules. But then there are high barriers for the authorities to deny a demonstration. And that is the thing that must be the case. If it's a legal demonstration, it has to be granted. That is one of the fundamental rights a democracy must give. Not give, that's the wrong word. A democracy must defend for the people. The democracy can't give anything to the people. The people are the democracy. But that is one of the fundamental rights. If you stop people from demonstrating without having a very, very, very good reason, the democracy is in danger. Voting is not the only part of democracy. And in the case of this bill, I'm really worried about that too, that they might start to go too far. Extinction Rebellion is a group they claim is the reason for this bill, which I really have my problems with myself. The actions they use for demonstrating are, from my point of view, in many cases criminal offenses and should be dealt with like it. But that still is no justification to block the right to demonstrate. From my point of view, the state and the police should act harder in case of criminal breaches, like from demonstrations like with the Extinction Rebellion or with people, what are they called? Squashers? Yeah, sometimes my English leaves me. That's a problem since I'm back in Germany. When I speak German all the day, my English is far worse than the time when I was over there. That really happens when you don't speak a language all day. But against those, the police should act more sooner and of course according to the law. Squatters, thank you very much. Squatting is something, for political reasons, we have here where some parties like the Greens or the Social Democrats want to protect them, to leave them there and stuff. It's Hausfriedensbruch, we say in Germany. It's trespassing. And the police is there to act against this, period. They are criminals. And this is not a justified political way of working. But this doesn't justify to go too far by law to stop demonstrations. And that's my opinion on the thing with the law. Yeah, that was the one I sorted out. I made a whole long video on my global channel on the Meghan Markle video, and that really is a bit too far off now from today's topics I have. Then, Jörg Goit, I hope you're still there. And I hope I don't slaughter your name too much. I've got a question for you. Hi, Mark. Thanks for responding to my last question. I couldn't... The Dutch elections this week were kind of boring. Mark Rutte can continue his premiership, and basically everything is the same, except Volt entered the field with 3 seats. Volt is the first pan-European party and will take part in a lot of national elections. I really like the idea of a pan-EU party. Would you consider to vote for them? Sorry. To be honest, Jörg, when I saw the manifesto of Volt before the local elections here in my hometown, for example, we had local elections in my state here in September where I was re-elected, for example, I thought the program sounded quite well. But the problem is, I don't only judge a party on basis on the program. And in the meantime, I would say my opinion about Volt has really changed because of their representatives here in my hometown. They joined forces with the Social Democrats and the Greens and formed a coalition here. And it's an ideological coalition. They are leaving out all economic realities. They are leaving out a lot of other realities and are just going for ideology. And that is something I hate from the depth of my heart. If some people in my own party behave like this, I tell them the same. But purely based politics on ideology is what we see in the UK at the moment with Brexit and with the anti-European crap that's going on there. If you base politics just on ideology, it always will end in big damage for your country, for your state, for your city. And honestly, I don't want to have that for Europe. And that's the only live example I have from Volt now. So I'm sorry to tell you that I will definitely not consider to vote for them, even if I weren't a member of my party, and so I vote for my party. But now, before the election, I would have considered that just reading the manifesto. But seeing what that means in reality, in the real work after they just entered for the very first time as a city council, what they are doing, no, definitely wouldn't. Sorry. If you have other examples from the Dutch Parliament, for example, in the future, how their work is going on there, what their work they're doing, then I might say this is just one singled out example in my hometown, and I might reconsider my opinion. But that is my opinion at the moment from seeing their hands-on work. I really hoped for their pro-European and pan-European approach. But what I'm seeing in reality is unfortunately something very different. And I'm a bit disappointed there, I must say. But yeah, it was... Let's keep it at that. One other thing was Scotland. I wanted to talk about one more time. I put it in another topic as well. But the thing with the Alex Salmond issue at the moment didn't give me a rest. We had the scandal here in Germany before the state elections in Rhineland Palatinate and in Baden-Württemberg, and the local elections in Hesse. They didn't have a big influence there because, as I said, it was more about people than about parties. In Baden-Württemberg, the Green Prime Minister won. In Rhineland Palatinate, the Social Democrat Prime Minister won again. And in Hesse, the Christian Democrats were the strongest party. So it was... In every of the 3 states where were elections on the same day, different parties won. The only good side is that the AfD lost in all of them. Christian, but you have to lead with ideology. People vote for the future, not for bookkeepers. No, you have to present a vision based on your ideology, where you want to go. But when you do politics, instead of just talking about politics, you have to count in reality. You have to work on the basis of the realities. And you have to work for the welfare of your city, in my case of my borough, in other case of the state, of the country, of the European Union. And if you leave them out and just want to have 100% of your ideology, no matter what, that's the wrong way. And that's what's kicking the AfD at the moment as well. David Falconer, thank you for your super chat. Freedom of assembly is a human right. Providing peaceful, no criminal act are being committed, then the police have no reason to get involved. Exactly. That's exactly what I meant. If there's a peaceful demonstration, of course we have the law that you have to not apply for the right to do that, but they're missing another English word. You have to write to the police here in the case of my city that you will want a demonstration that day there and then, and you want to do this and that, because they have to take care of the traffic, for example, and stuff like this. And if it's not dangerous in a real sense, they will say, okay, we will take care of we will block the roads where you want to march and stuff like this. But it is a human right, and you have to let them do this if it's a peaceful demonstration. And if you're not blocking other people's lives afterwards. Some demonstrations are during the demonstration quite peaceful, but then they just stay where they are and don't leave again and block streets for hours, for example. That is not peaceful anymore, because my freedom, my personal freedom ends there where I invade the freedom space of other people. And there must be a limit for that one. But peaceful demonstrations must be able to happen anytime. But I was with the election again. The right-wingers in Germany, just another example from the Dutch one, they were losing in all 3 states, and they were losing a lot in all 3 states. As I said, from the other parties, some won in this state, some lost in, then they won in the other, they lost in this one. There was a mixture depending on which state you looked at. But the right-wingers lost up to 5-6% in all the states. And that is a really good sign that they are still there. They will be there for quite some time. They will be in the next federal parliament again. We have elections in September. It will be quite exciting to get there and to see what will happen there. Nobody knows how that will end. And to be honest, what some wrote, I think it was Son of Viking who wrote about Merkel's demise. No, she's just retiring now after 16 years as chancellor. So she got to the same record as Helmut Kohl as the longest chancellor in office of all time in Germany. So she's retiring now, and we don't know who will follow her. We don't know the candidates for several of the parties. We know them from one party already, from the Social Democrats, but the other parties have not decided on the candidates yet. We will see. The Greens just published their program. The Christian Democrats want to publish their program also before they decide on a candidate. And so there's still a lot of preparation going on. Next Saturday, we are voting for the candidate for my city. My city at the same time is a constituency for the federal parliament. And my party is voting on the candidate for the election of the federal parliament, the Bundestag, on Saturday. We have 4 candidates, so nobody knows who will be our candidate at the end of next Saturday. And it's complicated, of course. We, because of the pandemic, have different locations. So not everyone is at the same location for the people who have to be there at all. I have a location where I can go to have in advance to say, do I go there? Will I only go there for the vote? Because I have the right to vote, of course, as a member. And or will I only watch via video conference? But I can stay there if I want to. But if it's not necessary, you shouldn't do that in a situation like this. Or just go there to vote. There's a certain time slot for voting where you just go, place your vote, and then after the result you leave. And so, it's a one-time primary, Mr. Peter KJ. We have a one-time primary, perhaps 2 or 3 votes depending on the majority. No, 2 votes. If no one gets the majority in the first round, we have to have another round. And so there will be the candidate for my constituency where I'm living. But we still don't have the chancellor candidate. And so it's still exciting. And the choice of chancellor candidates will tell a lot about what the German path for Europe might be as well. But at the moment, I don't see any candidate that could be successful for chancellery that would change a lot what Germany is doing in the EU, or for what Germany always was planning in all the parties except the right-wingers for the future of the EU. And so Germany will stay a pro-European country even after September 27th. No, Cookie Caramel, you can't vote for me. I'm not running for that one. I will not run for state elections or anything. I'm quite happy with just my voluntary work here in my borough, and that's it. So I won't run for Bundestag. I won't run for Landtag, for the state parliament. I will stay in my borough. And David, thank you, but it wasn't really interrupted. It has to do with another thing, because it went from one scandal over there, and I have to come back to Scotland. That's true. We will see what happens with this scandal. And I just want to talk about this point of time where Alex Salmond came up with that. The point of time is that he went to public to complain about Sturgeon and the handling of the SNP and stuff, so close to a state election. Doesn't tell me anything good about Alex Salmond. Despite all the allegations he was not charged for, but he allegedly, well, leave that aside. But the behavior now is not telling me anything good about Alex Salmond to try to harm the party for which he was first minister for quite some time. And that at a moment like this. This is not an incident. And I just can hope for my Scottish viewers, and most of my viewers at least are very pro-independence and pro-SNP, that they will not be harmed by this. Because the question of the future of Scotland is far too important to be decided on some conspiracy theories of a former first minister and some intrigues of some former first minister. And the future of a country is far more important than that. And I hope that the people in Scotland will decide whatever they really feel to be necessary and will not get influenced by this one way or the other. We saw in Brexit that there was too much emotion at play, too much fake news, too much lies in the campaign, and that doesn't lead to anything good. And so I hope in Scotland we won't see that. But we will have to wait and see. I'm really looking forward to the campaign in Scotland when it really gets started. I'm really have no clue how that will really look like, how bad it's going to be. But it's going to be interesting. And maybe I mean that in the Chinese sense of the old say about I wish you an interesting life. But yeah, those were the topics I wanted to go through today. So we are on for an hour already, so it's not too bad. So I timed that quite well. I really appreciated that you were there. I hope you all left a like today. I can't see them while I'm filming and while I'm on this studio cockpit here. But I saw the peak. We had 144 people at the same time watching with a small channel like mine. That's really good. So thank you very much. And I really hope to see you again next week. I will dig out some more topics for you until then. There are some things, by the way. Christian, from you, I would like to have your opinion. Tomorrow on my European channel, I will have a video on a Danish policy that's going around at the moment that German media are talking about right now. I would really like your opinion about this tomorrow at 6 p.m. I know that you're on this channel too, so I really would like your opinion about that topic tomorrow. And for everybody else, please have a look at my European and global channels as well. And if you subscribe there, please watch some videos. So just as a general thing on YouTube, subscribers doesn't really that much matter. Although it's a psychological thing. And so in the next weeks on some live stream, we're going to talk about a little lottery I'm putting up when it's time to think about the 10,000 subscribers. And so I'm preparing something for this, so keep that in mind, that when we're getting closer to the 10,000, I will definitely talk in one live stream before that, what is going to happen, and afterwards it's going to happen. So keep that in mind. And if you haven't subscribed already, help me get to the 10,000, please. It's a psychological thing. It's not that important for YouTube, but this is a psychological thing. Everybody likes that. And everybody talks about this. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for discussing all the time. I'll read the live chat later on when my video is processed. It's always fun to do that. I can't do it while I'm talking here all the time, so I miss a lot, and that's why I read that afterwards. But thank you very much for watching. Have a nice evening. Good morning to Hong Kong and other people that are that far away. Otherwise, thank you again, Conservator, for helping with moderating today. Really appreciate that. It's a very nice gesture from you, and I really appreciate that. So thank you again. And thank you all for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for your contribution. Have a nice Sunday evening, and see you soon.